Number 4. Treating Demodex mites. I believe there are two things that are different in this video than any other Demodex mites treatment video. 1. I am sharing information about both external and internal treatments that I have found to be effective for me treating Demodex mites. I have not found anyone discussing internal treatments for Demodex. 2. I do not see anyone sharing information about any one of the 4 treatments I have found to be the most effective for me. External treatment number 1. Sodium lauryl sulfate, SLS, and diatomaceous earth. I noticed videos that stated Dawn can kill insects. How to effectively get rid of pests with Dawn dish soap. Since I was testing just about anything that might kill Demodex mites on my skin, I decided to test Dawn on a small area on my skin that was itching as a result of the internal treatments I was testing. I added 1 teaspoon of Dawn in 1 quart of water and put it on the area that was itching, and within 1 to 3 minutes the itching reduced. Continued to try it on other areas that were itching, and since it was not causing any noticeable bad reactions, I increased the concentration to 2 teaspoons in 1 quart. It seemed even a little more effective, and I used it for a couple of days, and it was quickly reducing the itching. External treatment number 1 continued. In some cases, I would have to reapply it after an hour or so, but after applying 1 or 2 more times, the itching would reduce for several hours. Initial testing indicated it was working better than anything else I had tested at that point without any negative reaction. I had tested dozens of external medications before testing Dawn, including tea tree oil, and Dawn was working better than the prescription medications I had been using for years like 0.1% triamcinolone acetonide and fluocinolone. After a few days, I was still not having any negative reactions. I had very bad reactions at several places on my body where I was not testing Dawn at that same time from an internal medication I was testing. Since I had not had any bad reactions testing Dawn, I decided to use it in a stronger concentration, and it was very effective at stopping the itching and irritation, especially in the private areas with very bad rashes and boils. The next day, the private areas where the skin was very soft started to turn red and got very irritated, and layers of my skin started to peel very badly, and it continued to do so for a couple of days. I knew from that I would not be able to use Dawn at any concentration above 2 teaspoons in 1 quart of water, and would even be concerned about using it in any areas where the skin was very soft. When I examined the ingredients, I looked for the one that was most likely reducing the itching, and sodium lauryl sulfate, SLS, stood out to me. I noticed Dawn also contained citric acid, which had caused very bad reactions when I tested it externally, so I decided to order pure SLS to test. SLS can be found in both beauty and cleaning products. Research suggests concentrations of 1% or less are safe on your skin. Healthline.com. Once I received it, I mixed 1% with filtered water, and I have been using it for over 1 year, and it has reduced itching and irritated boils better than anything else I have tested. I have tested it at very high concentrations and would start getting some redness above 2%, but even at concentrations of 10% or more, I have never had any reactions near as bad as I did when using Dawn. External treatment number 1 continued. When I did more research, I found that sodium lauryl sulfate, SLS, is a surfactant. What is a surfactant in simple terms? The word surfactant is a blend of surface active agent, coined in 1950. As they consist of a water repellent and a water attracting part, they are emulsifiers, enabling water and oil to mix. They can also form foam and facilitate the detachment of dirt. Surfactant Wikipedia, when it says it can facilitate the detachment of dirt. It also means like wax, which is likely on most mites, and if the wax is removed, it can cause them to dehydrate and die. I also found SLS is used as an insecticide. Sodium lauryl sulfate is a widely used surfactant that can act as a biopesticide, disrupting the cell membranes of pests while also functioning as a soil wetting agent. Miramichi green pest control. Diatomaceous earth, DE, has many uses, but one of the most popular is as an insect killer. DE is not a poison, but a naturally occurring product that works through mechanical, physical means to kill pests. Unlike many chemical products, bugs will never become resistant to it. Diatomaceous earth is the fossilized remains of a type of algae known as a diatom. The shells of these diatoms are made mostly of silica, and when crushed up, they form a soft, white powder. Diatomaceous earth has microscopic, razor-sharp edges that are harmless to humans and other animals, deadly to insects. When insects crawl through the diatomaceous earth, the microscopic sharp edges work like shards of glass, slicing open their exoskeletons. As soon as the waxy outer covering of the bug is pierced, the insect will slowly begin to dry out. DE is also excellent at absorbing moisture, so the more the insect contacts the diatomaceous earth, the faster it will dehydrate. Thus, The actual means by which diatomaceous earth kills bugs is through desiccation. External treatment number 1, continued. I have tested diatomaceous earth extensively both internally and externally with some good results in both cases. It is a powder, so I have to put it in a water bottle, shake it vigorously each time before I spray it. I rub it in when spraying to help it contact any bugs on the surface, and it will stick to the skin when it dries, so Demodex mites moving on the skin will come in contact with it. This combined with SLS combines two substances that can dehydrate Demodex. Dosage: 100 grams filter water, 1 gram SLS, 2 tablespoons diatomaceous earth, 40 grams petroleum jelly, 0.4 grams SLS, 2 teaspoons diatomaceous earth. Note: petroleum jelly is also harmful to Demodex mites. For links to purchase these products, you can click on the name on the transcript, which will be on my internet links page. External treatment number 2. Sage oil, officinalis. The article, Effective Essential Oils on the Survival Rate of Demodex spp, states 50% tea tree oil, mean survival rate, 7 minutes. Sage oil, mean survival rate, 7 minutes. The article Essential Oils for the Treatment of Demodex contains a chart that shows tea tree oil at 50% concentration kills Demodex mites in 7 minutes, and sage oil at 100% kills Demodex mites in 7 minutes. So why do both of these sites list tea tree oil at 50%? At full strength, tea tree oil can cause dryness, blisters, and rashes. Tea tree oil WebMD, tea tree oil, TTO, is too strong to use at full strength. Tea tree oil smells very strong to me, and 100% sage oil smells like cologne. I can even use sage oil around my eyes without any problem as long as I am careful not to get it in my eyes. So if sage oil at 100% is still milder on the skin and smells better at 100% than tea tree oil at 50%, and they both kill Demodex mites in 7 minutes at those concentrations, why would anyone ever use tea tree oil? I don't know. There is no comparison to me, but yet no one has heard about sage oil, it seems. I didn't just test medications for over 5 years, I studied everything I could find out about Demodex mites and treatments for them all that time also. Sage officinalis contains thujone, which is a toxin agent and very effective at killing insects. I will be very surprised if anyone smells both of them together and prefers TTO. It is very difficult for me to use TTO around my eyes at any concentration, and I sure do not want to be around people when I'm using TTO and smell like turpentine. Internal treatment number 1. Citric acid candy. I tested citric acid and lifesavers at dosages over 10 per day, and at one point thought they alone may kill Demodex mites. My observations and speculations indicate they work in ways similar to Zicam, which has to be dissolved in the mouth and not swallowed. One or more doctors have found Demodex mites living inside the mouth. Demodex infestation of oral mucosal sebaceous glands. I explained my third video under digestion why I believe they are living in the entire digestive tract. This candy, which contains approximately 40 to 80 milligrams of acid, each coats the inside of the mouth and upper digestive system slowly with citric acid. Observations indicate that although citric acid in a single dosage up to 10 grams did not kill all Demodex mites, that even small amounts of citric acid applied in this manner disrupts their life cycle in a way that the body senses as a decrease in the activity of Demodex, having a positive effect, causes a decrease in symptom magnitude. Zinc is one of the types of molecules that sticks to things and may slow them down physically, which could have the same effect. Citric acid taken internally may cause them to slow down because it may be harmful to the bacteria, Bacillus oleronius, inside Demodex, or it may be because it dissolved their waxy outer shell. Internal treatment number 1, continued. Either way, citric acid taken in the form of lifesavers allowed to dissolve slowly in the mouth has been very effective at reducing any stomach pain caused by me taking strong internal medications for Demodex. It has also reduced incurable chronic digestive symptoms and a few others and reduced symptoms of falling down. Case 1. After subject with history of severe chronic constipation took X-Lax the night before and did not have a bowel movement by the next morning, they took 3 lifesavers 30 minutes apart, and that caused a bowel movement before third lifesaver had completely dissolved. Case 2, 3. Other subjects experienced significant reductions in digestive problems and reduced loss of balance, falling down problems, taking 3 lifesavers 4 or more hours apart per day. With this treatment, noticeable effects occurred in as little as 1 to 3 days, with stronger results in 5 to 7 days, even against constipation without laxative. I cannot guarantee any results from anything I suggest, but in this case, what could someone possibly have to lose by testing 3 lifesavers per day 4 more hours apart? Internal treatment number 2. 1 gram citric acid capsules. Most doctors agree it is safe to consume 1 8-ounce cup of orange juice daily, which contains 2 grams of citric acid. The directions on 1 gram citric acid capsules normally recommend taking 1 capsule daily. 2 1-gram capsules could be safe if 2 grams in orange juice is safe, especially if taken about 8 hours apart. But I have no way to know how it affects each person because I am the only one that has tried citric acid capsules at various intervals and quantities. If anyone decided to try 1 or more capsules, it would seem logical to start with 1 per day, then decide if 2 or more are needed unless we're dying very soon. Orange juice may be effective, but I have found the capsules to be stronger, especially when taken without food. The instructions say take 1 capsule daily with 8 to 12 ounces of water with no mention of food, and I take 4 ounces of water. All citric acid is not equivalent because OJ is natural, but other citric acid like in supplements and drinks are produced from a commercial process using mushrooms. There is also a possibility of some mushroom contamination in the commercial process, which has caused noticeable negative reactions in some people. I have wondered if that could even make it a stronger treatment. I have been able to reduce my psoriatic arthritis symptoms by 90 to 95% because I can take 2 grams of citric acid every 4 to 6 hours since I have built a tolerance to it. But it has only happened after several weeks, and often with painful reactions. Internal treatment number 2. Continued. I believe there is a possibility that taking large amounts of citric acid may reduce the symptoms for any disease, including cancer, based on the information I have provided in my 3 other videos. I also believe this is possible because I have reduced the incurable symptoms of my psoriatic arthritis by 90 to 95%. But again, I have experienced many painful boils and rashes in the process of doing that. How many cancer treatments have no side effects? The last chemo treatment they gave my mother with leukemia killed her within a few hours. I would not recommend anyone attempt to take a large amount of citric acid unless their life depends on it, or they have an unbearable chronic disease that is worse than the possibility of having some strong reactions of boils and rashes. I would definitely try the lifesavers before using the capsules unless you are out of time. To be clear, I am not saying that citric acid is the best or only treatment effective against Demodex mites. I am just hoping that if the information I have provided might offer any temporary positive results, that it might be enough to convince present medical science that they may be wrong about Demodex. Then they could start using their resources to find the best treatments, knowing what they are really fighting. But until then, I think there is a possibility that citric acid might have some positive effect for people that have been told we don't have anything for you, so just go home and die. If I take too much citric acid, there are 3 things that can happen. 1. I will feel stomach pain. This is because there is a boil over my solar plexus all the time, and it can fill with fluid and get very sore when taking a medication that harms Demodex. This puts pressure on the nerves and muscles below and can also cause severe constipation. If I push on that spot, I can feel the pain and tell exactly where the boil is. The only way I can relieve that pain is to scratch the surface of the boil and allow the boil to drain. 2. It could affect my blood pressure or my heartbeats per minute, so I check them regularly and discontinue treatment completely or reduce the dosage depending on the severity. 3. I can break out with rash and/or boils. My opinion about prescription medications which I tested. 1. Ivermectin. It is no longer effective at killing Demodex mites internally in humans. It causes severe side effects and can even be dangerous. When I used ivermectin internally at various doses, I broke out with severe rashes and boils every time. When I used prescription cilantro, which contains ivermectin for rosacea externally, I had reactions of severe itching in my eyes and severe dandruff in my eyebrows. 2. 5% permethrin is no longer effective killing Demodex mites externally on humans and may cause severe side effects and may be dangerous with repeated use. Nixlice treatment has used 1% permethrin for years. It is now rated at 3.7 because it's no longer effective, and they had to create Nix Ultra rated 4.4 that contains dimethicon to smother lice. Why would I continue to test citric acid or anything that would cause these very painful reactions? I am over 70 years old, and when I started testing these medications, I had very severe psoriatic arthritis. The symptoms include constant itching all over my body, rosacea, new folliculitis almost every day, infections on my toes and fingernails that were getting worse, itching and redness in the eyes, neck pain, degenerative disc disease. That was so bad, I would use a very hard neck massager for 30 minutes or more every day. Muscle soreness, muscle cramps so bad I could not walk them off. Numbness, paresthesia, so bad I went to the hospital, but there was nothing they could do for it. Fatigue, pressure sore on back that never went away with any medication, and swelling everywhere on my body that I didn't even realize I had. I do not feel any of this now except when I take large doses of citric acid. This was all incurable and getting worse. Now it has all reduced by 90 to 95%. Video by Paul Hartley BS, MSME. Engineer, www.demodexmites.com. Email Paul at demodexmites.com.